Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a story for you here today titled, "My wife became a womanist, so I showed her the door." I think this is the only solution. If your wife or girlfriend is a womanist, guys, these people are absolutely insufferable. Everything you do will be seen as oppression, and trying to make a marriage or a relationship work with a womanist, well, I would rather do some absolutely obscene things to myself as opposed to try and do that, which I can't say here on YouTube or I will be banned. So let's jump into this story here. My wife became a womanist. Let's jump in. Let's see how old the dude is. So before we jump into today's episode, I just wanted to do a quick announcement that I have set up a second channel where I will be doing near daily TikTok reaction videos again. So if this is a style of videos that interests you, you miss seeing it here on the main channel, well, I have dipped my toes once again into the cesspit that is TikTok, and that will be linked in the pinned comment, guys. The second channel will be linked in the pinned comment. A 37-year-old man, so he's 37, shares how his marriage slowly fell apart after his wife underwent a radical personality shift, adopting extreme ideology that turned their relationship into a battlefield. All right, let's jump into it. I'm a 37-year-old guy, and my now ex-wife is 35. We were together for almost 10 years, and we were married for 6. When we first met, everything was good, you know, warm, funny, down to earth, all that fantastic good stuff. Okay, excellent. We didn't always agree, but we respected each other. We supported each other. I was building my business, and she was working as a school teacher. She loved children. She loved helping them learn, and I admired that about her. We had plans to start a family, and life was good. Then things began to shift, and not for the better. I'll say this, guys. I have noticed, particularly women in womanists, and women who oftentimes reside in metropolitan cities in particular, guys, they just don't like children these days. You know, they end up changing their mind and wanting children when they're like 31, 32, realizing that they're running out of time at 29, and so on. But oftentimes these women do not like kids whatsoever. Okay, so this guy would have taken it as a green flag. Hey, you know, she likes children, she likes teaching them, fantastic stuff. That's a green flag. You know, she's caring, she's feminine, and so on. A lot of these women, guys, particularly the womanists, they do not like children, man. They really do not. Let's jump into the next part here. He says, it began about a year ago. She started watching a lot of quote-unquote empowerment content online. At first, I was all for it. Who doesn't want their partner to feel strong, capable, and independent? Okay, so this guy, right, he like a lot of other people, gets tricked by the ethics of it, right? Oh, it's just about women's empowerment, guys, and, you know, freeing themselves spiritually, okay, and becoming independent and capable, right? He falls for it. That's the guys, right? All of this nonsense. Now, me personally, I think being independent and strong in a relationship is stupid, especially as a woman. Like, why would you want a strong, independent woman as a significant other? I have no idea. But theoretically, it can sound good on paper to a lot of guys who don't know any better. He says, soon she started referring to anything I did or said as patriarchal. She stopped calling me babe and began calling me man. Oh my goodness. Like I was the villain in a protest sign. If I disagreed with her on anything, even something as trivial as weekend plans, it turned into a lecture about the oppression of women's autonomy. Oh my goodness. Jokes I used to make, lighthearted things she used to laugh at now were problematic. Affection turned into coldness. Conversations became debates. It stopped feeling like a marriage and started feeling like an interrogation. Yeah, this is exactly what happens to dudes who try and date women like this. Right? Absolutely what happens, guys. Like, this is all, you know, starts using all of these buzzwords that she learns online that mean essentially nothing. Start complaining about everything. Everything becomes a battle or an argument or an issue. Doesn't really matter what you say, it's a problem, right? And this is just something that men are not interested in when they're looking for wives and girlfriends. No dude wants a battle with their wife or girlfriend. So he says, we stopped being intimate when I asked what was going on. She accused me of being entitled to her body. I'd never demanded anything ever, but suddenly even asking a question made me part of the problem. She started talking about how she wasn't sure that monogamy made sense in today's world, yet expected me to still pay for everything and do my part as a husband. I kept trying. I suggested therapy. She rolled her eyes and says therapy is a tool of the patriarchy, and that was the last straw. So this woman essentially became completely brainwashed by the womanists. I don't know what she was watching, but just completely brainwashed. Okay, so this dude, you know, he says he's doing the providing, I believe. I think I read that earlier on. Yeah, so she still expected him to pay for everything and do his part as the husband. And she's over here talking about hooking up with other dudes already. She's talking about how monogamy doesn't make sense. Okay, she's talking about how, you know, she doesn't owe him intimacy, right? We heard this in a recent story as well. Some wife was like, I don't owe you intimacy, which is just such a stupid thing to say. Okay, why would you get married to someone who you don't want to have intimacy with in the first place? That makes no sense. So all of the nonsense starts coming out. One night, he says, after she came home from some kind of women's circle and accused me of gaslighting her because I asked how her evening was, this guy's had enough, man. He says, I just quietly got up, I went into our room and started packing her things. She came in furious, asking what I was doing. I said, you clearly don't want a husband, you want a cause to fight, and I'm not volunteering to be your enemy anymore. She screamed, called me every name you can imagine, said I was weak, insecure, couldn't handle a strong woman. He says, but I wasn't angry, I was calm and peaceful. I just opened the door and said, go be strong somewhere else. Fantastic. And here's the thing, right, is a lot of dudes, they don't have an issue with women being strong and independent, okay? But here's the thing, when women say strong and independent, it just means argumentative and unpleasant, right? For example, guys, let me illustrate the point. I know a lot of men, right? A lot of my friends, I would consider them to be strong and independent, but never once have I heard them describe themselves as that, ever. I've literally never heard any of my capable male friends, right, who are independent, who are quite literally very strong individuals. I've never once heard them refer to themselves as strong and independent and do crap like this. Never once, okay? So the issue isn't actually about being strong. If you're a woman and you want to go out there and you want to train triceps and get big arms and you want to be strong, okay, cool. Nobody cares. Go for it. Knock yourself out. But what this really translates to when these women are saying this is they are just unpleasant to be around. They're argumentative, okay? They cause a lot of issues and so on. And this is where, there's a difference between what is being said and the reality of how the women actually turn out, okay? I want to be empowered. Okay, fantastic. You want to be empowered. What does that mean? Well, what it actually means, guys, is they want to be incredibly liberal with their bodies, and maybe she wants to take up pole dancing on the weekend, okay? Maybe she wants to go and have girls' nights out, and she'll call you insecure no matter what she dresses. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of guys don't have an issue with someone being empowered, right? A man's empowered, a woman's empowered, who gives a damn? But then in reality, what it actually translates to is someone who's completely undateable and cannot be married. You see what I'm saying? He says, after she left, the silence in the house was almost spiritual. I like this guy, man. He says, no lectures, no eye rolls, no walking on eggshells, wondering what new phrase I would say that would be taken as oppression. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. She didn't contest it. I think she was too proud to admit what really happened. That is some fantastic stuff, right? And that's the only solution, unfortunately. You can't take these people to therapy. Right? Therapy doesn't work on them, guys. Why do you think they're there permanently, in perpetuity? Therapists actually love womanists, guys, because oftentimes womanists are the ones who are on all the medication, who feel bad all the time, all day, whose lives are messed up and things like this. I would say therapists actually love womanists, guys. It's just, at a certain point, it's just free money. But we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.